Hello, movie fans, and welcome to episode 173 of The First Run. We have a really exciting episode for you this week. We have our reviews on Iron Man 3. Chris will also talk about this week's Blu-ray releases. I'll give you my streaming pick of the week, and we will share our best of the rest summer movie breakdown. All the rest of the movies coming out this summer, we're going to tell you which ones to go see. Also, lastly but not leastly, we have Mike White's music for interludes this week. If you like the music that you're hearing this week, check out IamMikeWhite.com. And let's get it started.
I'm Tony Stark. I build neat stuff. I got a great girl. And occasionally, save the world. So why can't I sleep?
You elected me on a single platform. I will defend this country at all costs. The Mandarin must be stopped.
You don't know who I am. You'll never see me coming.
What are you going to do about these attacks?
The whole world's gonna be watching.
The question, where is Tony Stark?
Things are different now. I have to protect the one thing that I can't live without. That's you.
Mr. Stark. Today is the first day of what's left of your life. I'm gonna offer the choice. Do you want an empty life or a meaningful death?
You're not a man. You're nothing more than a maniac. I'm not afraid of you. No politics here. Just good old-fashioned revenge.
That's right, Dave. Robert Downey Jr. returns in Iron Man 3 for some good old-fashioned revenge.
I love me some Robert Downey Jr.
I
really do.
He is the fan-favorite actor of this show, the patron saint of acting for the first run. So, Dave, we have Iron Man 3. We have a few things to deal with here. First up, it's the next film after the smash success that was The Avengers.
Is it? It's the first one? Yeah, it is, isn't it?
And then we have the third film, Curse. A lot of times, superhero movies, the third film is usually the worst of the three.
Yeah.
I think specifically, really, I always go back to Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
So, we have a lot going on, and I want to stress, too, I don't think if you follow us on Facebook and Twitter, you'll know this, but if not, this is going to be our non-spoiler version discussion of Iron Man 3. There's a lot of stuff going on in this movie, and we're not going to get into that explicit amount of detail. We're going to save that for a second kind of bonus episode where it's our Iron Man 3 spoiler show, where you're going to find out all the little details and all the secrets, and everything will then be revealed. So you'll definitely want to watch the film before listening to that show.
Yeah.
So let's start. We have 2 points, Dave. I opened with. One, as a follow-up to Avengers, is Marvel and this series continuing on the upward swing? I'll just go with and your second question is, does Iron Man 3 escape the third film superhero movie curse?
Yes and yes, I would say. I didn't particularly love Avengers. Mm-hmm. I thought the Iron Man movies are the best of these current crop of Marvel films. The Iron Man movies are consistently the best of those. And I really thought this one was really good and better than the Avengers. I liked it a lot better than the Avengers.
Really?
Yeah, I really did. And Robert Downey Jr., he really holds up like the slow moments of a movie for me.
Yeah.
Just his charisma on screen, and this character just is him so much. You know what I mean? Is like he's able to put so much of his own personality into this role that it's really fun to watch, right? And as far as the Iron Man movies go, I thought the second one was bad. Like I didn't like it.
Right.
The first one was so good. And I think this one's really a return to form for the series, for the Iron Man series. I really enjoyed it.
it's a fun summer popcorn movie. It's loud, it's brash, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
But for me, it wasn't that particularly interesting.
No,
I didn't
well-
find anything truly memorable in this film. I think it's a major step down from Avengers.
Really?
I think
I was
Avengers
surprised.
is a larger... Avengers, I kind of think, is probably the perfect summer action popcorn film. It really is. It delivers on every single level. It's
no.
funny. It's entertaining.
Yeah,
Iron
all
Man 3.
So we have different opinions on Avengers, but that's not what this is about. I really enjoyed Iron Man 3, though. Did you not enjoy Iron Man 3?
I enjoyed it. I was able to turn my brain off and just enjoy the blockbuster, enjoy the ride. But it's not a great film.
Okay,
It's
yeah. I mean, none of them are great
it's entertaining.
films, though.
I think-
they're comic book movies.
Yeah, you say that, but then where does I think Dark Knight
Okay, so
blows
you
that out
have
of the
one
water.
series that stands alone as comic book movies that kind of stand above and apart from the rest of the crowd.
I don't know why those two things have to be mutually exclusive.
Well, because to me they're exclusive because the source material is just so fantastical. It's hard to capture that on film with any kind of realism and and Batman I think is a little easier than kind of the Marvel superhero stuff with the Avengers and with the Hulk, and it's just so much harder to do like kind of these guys with superpowers than it is to do the Dark Knight, you know?
Right.
So it always is going to pull you out a little bit just seeing this like crazy stuff on screen. That's like it's like seeing like stunts in Mission Impossible 3 that you just know are not even
Physically possible.
yeah.
I enjoyed the film. I think Robert Downey Jr. delivers the goods in this film. I think, though, for me, his dialogue wasn't as clever or as fresh as it had been in the previous films.
Well,
I felt
one,
this
it
time
was really good.
I think this time they were relying more on Robert Downey Jr. Than it was on the dialogue itself. I thought it felt a lot more clunky and forced to me this time.
See, I disagree. There's great moments with kind of in the middle with secondary character that he meets, and there were really great moments right at the end of the movie that I thought Robert Downey Jr. it showcased him as a person as opposed to Iron Man.
Well,
and I really liked that. I really enjoyed it.
I actually had some issues with that as well, but for me, I felt they relied more on Robert Downey Jr.'s charm in this film than they did a combination of smart dialogue with his charm. For me,
all right. So I liked the dialogue in this movie.
it was okay, but it wasn't as good.
I
as
like
the
that
first one.
he spends more time out of the suit, and yeah, it's not as good as the first one. I totally agree, but it's hard to whenever you have like a first movie where everything's fresh and it's all surprising and new. It's always going to be hard to follow that up because you can never surprise the audience again. But in the second movie, I was really disappointed because they didn't go anyplace new. Whereas in this movie, I felt like they did go someplace new, and I was totally surprised by this movie because I thought it was going to be a much darker movie, and it didn't end up being that. It was much more of a lighter popcorn flick than what I went in there thinking it was going to be. But I still enjoyed it. I sat there entertained for the entire 2 hours and 15 minutes, and that's
a big thing for you.
by 45 minutes.
That's right. That's a big thing for you. I think there's two. I do feel the film is diminishing returns. I think we've definitely taken a step down. I think the issue
Over
I have
Iron Man or behind Iron Man 2 or just behind Iron Man 1?
behind Iron Man 1 and the Avengers. But which
Okay.
you're not as big fan of the Avengers.
No, I
anyway.
wasn't that
I think
big
there's another issue too. There isn't any real character growth in the film, except maybe for Tony Stark's character.
Yeah.
I think there's advancement, but there's no. I didn't feel any kind of. And this is going to sound all pretentious and stuff, but that's my role here.
The movie is called Iron Man.
I think there's. I didn't feel any real heart or truth or depth into anything that happened in this movie.
No,
Stark
I'd
has
like
a
to
bit
talk
of
a little bit about that during the spoiler episode,
I think
especially in regard to what's her name?
Pepper Potts, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
I think Stark's redemptive path, I think it's entertaining, but it never felt more than... It was always kind of shallow and more just there to further the plot. And that's an issue I have with the film. If I have any big issue with the movie, it's the plot. Can you really tell me what the plot of this film was and what the villain's ultimate motivations are?
Yeah, I can.
'Cause
But
I
I
don't
can't
think I
do
really
it in
can.
this episode. I'll talk about that more in the spoiler cast. But yeah, I did believe the plot. I liked
But
how
it's
there was
almost
a twist.
ancillary to the film. The plot, it's more just to get you from one action set piece to the next.
Well, isn't that what every action movie plot is?
It doesn't have to be, though. You
All
can
right,
have a really
I disagree with you here,
interesting-
Chris, because I felt that the bad guy, he was sufficiently bad. He was also sufficiently powerful enough to actually compete with Iron Man,
Right.
Which I appreciate because I can't stand that when they're not, they don't they don't have any real
Kind of the issue you
threat.
have with almost every Superman movie if it doesn't involve Zod.
Yeah. Okay. And but yeah, I thought his motivation was pretty clear. I mean, it was.
But what was the end goal? Is the whole point? It's like,
Well, I don't want to talk about that because if I talk about who,
well, I don't. We don't have to get into detail. I'm talking
I felt like
abstractly. What
his end goal was
What
money.
is the end goal?
Money.
I see that to do
Money and power.
what he's doing in all of this. I don't know. Which
So
brings
even
me
me
to my,
saying money is, I think, a spoiler.
well, which brings me to my next point. Really, I think I may have actually enjoyed one performance in this film even more than Robert Downey Jr.'s.
Who's that?
And that's Ben Kingsley. I think him as the
It was
Mandarin.
surprising. It was.
I think him as the Mandarin is one of the most entertaining performances I've seen.
Can
this
I
year.
ask you, because I've never read the comic books, how closely did that follow the comic books? Not at all.
No, he's Asian
Okay.
in the film in the comics, and he has the rings actually do certain. There's powers.
Okay.
Like one makes him invisible, one makes him shoots lasers. One they all have different abilities. The
Okay.
rings, which you don't really get into that much in the film, which I don't think is that big a spoiler. You don't really see any of that in any of the trailers.
No.
But it's yeah. I mean, another thing too. What did you think of their treatment of Gwyneth Paltrow? I think that Shane Black is a director and he co-wrote the film. I think he does some really interesting stuff with her character Pepper Potts. That she's not the typical damsel in distress. She actually has some key moments in the film.
Absolutely.
And I really kind of enjoyed that twist of it as well. Listen, I enjoyed
I would
the
like
film.
to. I'd almost like to see her get her own movie because
That is insane.
I find her character to be very interesting.
I guess, but I wouldn't want to watch an hour and a half or 2 hours and 15 minutes.
No, an hour and a half would be good.
Iron
Maybe a
Maiden,
series.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
That'd be cool. Anyway, I agree with you. I really liked her character. I thought she was fun. She's been good. She's been kind of she's been breaking that prototype ever since Iron Man 1, where you kind of expect her to be like the lovely assistant.
Right.
And she hasn't been all the way through, and that's fun. That's part of what makes the
Yeah.
movies fun to me.
Yeah, listen, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the film. It was fun. It just wasn't as exciting or as memorable as I was really hoping this was going to kind of be even another step up. Like this was going to be potentially even a better film than the previous two.
I think it was better than the
and
second one. I think it was a lot better than the second one.
I go back and forth. I actually watched the first two films last week in anticipation of seeing the third film.
Yeah.
And yes, the second film is flawed, but it has some pretty good moments in it as well. Right now, I don't think I could choose one being better than the other. If I had to, maybe I'd say the third one is better.
I think the end of this one was a lot better than the end of the first one. The end of the first one was really disappointing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I listen. I enjoyed it. So, what's your recommendation then for everybody for Iron Man 3?
I'd recommend go see it in the theater. It's a significant enough spectacle that you want to see it in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a fan of the series so far, you've probably already seen it in the theater, and judging by the opening weekend sales, you've definitely already seen it.
This thing did mammoth business.
Yeah,
its opening weekend.
Second biggest opening ever.
It's world. I love this.
Right behind the Avengers.
Worldwide total as of yesterday, $768,211,000.
That's amazing.
That is insane to me. That in that short a time, it's made that much money. Granted, it got released a week earlier internationally, but still. I also too. Where'd you see it? I saw it in the IMAX 3D.
I saw it just regular theater. It was digital projected, and it looked great.
I can tell you that the 3D is useless. I can't even remember there being any 3D effects.
No.
But I wanted to pay the extra money because I wanted to have the IMAX experience.
experience.
Loud, huge screen. And I don't regret it. I don't. It was
good.
worth checking it out that way.
Nothing at the end was like interesting in 3D.
Not
There was
really.
a
I
lot
didn't
of-
realize
it was
it.
special effect heavy at the end.
It was, but I didn't really notice that 3D
no?
thing.
Okay.
No, it wasn't. Nothing really jumped out at me at all. So I'd have to agree with you. I think it's worth seeing in a theater. I mean, it's the first big summer film. There's only two more, I think, really huge summer films to come, which is Star Trek and Superman, which we'll kind of get into in the final segment of the show because we won't be getting into them.
I think
But
World War Z might be surprising. But yeah, it's
but
not
that
gonna be
thing,
huge.
but
It's
yeah,
not gonna
and
be
then
like
that thing has been troubled. I mean, the stories
Yeah.
behind the making of that film. But yeah, so I would definitely suggest running out the theater and see it as well. If you had a chance to see it, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, and look forward to the spoiler cast because we're going to go into a little more depth where we can be a little freer in our conversation, and I suspect there might be a little arguing going on.
I
so.
wouldn't be surprised. we
Look
almost
for
got
that.
into it here. So shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com, and now we're going to transition into some local music. We've been doing kind of folksy Americana type music so far in the show, but this week we're switching to hip hop, and this is going to be a little bit from Mike White.
I'm gonna get down with this, yo.
On se dit qu'à 20 ans, on est les rois du monde, et qu'éternellement, il y aura dans nos yeux tout le ciel bleu.
I let the rhythm hit them like a cataclysm while blocking their cynicism and dodging their criticism. Instead of freeing their minds, they locking them in the prison and their eyes too squinted to witnesses in the vision. You're listening to a mad poet with an ass load of assholes giving me advice like I asked for it. You should take this class, switch it with that snare, and you should put this here, you should put that there. I swear, you hear the ideas that these losers spit, telling me what to do with my music when they ain't doing shit. And I'm the one that's writing and producing the truest shit. This should have been spewing out of Confucius lips. Slippery bars, stupid, you finna lose your grip. Like I'm mixing lube and aluminum, bitch, you do the slip. So when I'm moving, give me room in this bitch. Try to maneuver through the super quick, I'm through with the shit. Just saying. Pardon my French. 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 Pardon my French.
Sixsmith. I climb the steps of the Scott Monument every morning, and all becomes clear. Wish I could make you see this brightness. Don't worry. All is well. All is so perfectly, damnably well. I understand now that boundaries between noise and sound are conventions. All boundaries are conventions, waiting to be transcended. One may transcend any convention if only one can first conceive of doing so. At moments like this, I can feel your heart beating as clearly as I feel my own. And I know that separation is an illusion.
Dave, that was my number 10 film of 2012, Cloud Atlas. And that's what's coming up on Blu-ray and DVD this upcoming Tuesday, May 14th. That movie hit me on such a visceral, emotional level, like a film probably hadn't since once. Now, is it a flawed movie? Yes. Do all the vignettes and all the parts of it, do every single one of the episodes in this film work? Probably not. But I think it's a film you have to see, and it's getting released on Blu-ray. Includes a DVD and an ultraviolet digital copy, a bunch of special features as well. If you haven't had a chance to check it out. Also, too, if you're a soundtrack fan, if you're a score fan, I should be more explicit like I am. This is a fantastic score to this film, and it is a gorgeous, lush soundtrack, and I absolutely love it. Before we move on to the business, too, I want to point out something that bothers me immensely. Last week we had pointed out that one of my all-time favorite Hitchcock films, Rope, is being released on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got delayed a month. It's not now coming out till June.
Why is that?
I have absolutely no
How does
idea.
a Blu-ray get delayed?
I don't know. I know Scream Factory had to delay their release of... what is it? Because there were sound issues. Actually, I guess the master and the sound was off. So they pushed it out like a month or so to get it straight.
Well, I never have a problem when when a company delays a product to make it better. I never have a problem with that.
Right.
It's worth the wait, almost always.
Yeah, but I have no idea why Rope has been delayed. But if you wanted to pick it up like I did this week, you did not have that opportunity. One of the sequels in I can't say one of the greatest horror franchises, because I think really the only good film in the series is probably the first one. At least the most visceral and greatest and scariest is the first one, and possibly one of the scariest films of all time. But this sequel, Texas Chainsaw 3D, is being released on Blu-ray. Includes a 3D Blu-ray, traditional Blu-ray, and an ultraviolet digital download. Includes 2 audio commentaries, one by the filmmakers, and the second with Chainsaw alumni Bill Moseley, Gunnar Hansen, Marilyn Burns, and John Dugan, actually actors from the first original film. Some special features as well about the making of, then a history, stuff about the legacy. Some deleted scenes as well. Listen, as Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequels go, this wasn't actually that bad. I found it entertaining. I'm glad I got to check it out in the theater. So if you're a fan of the series, it's at least worth a rental.
So I'm not familiar with the series, right? I've seen I think 2 of the movies. I saw the original,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I saw one that came out probably in the early 2000s. Which
Yeah.
I want to say it was a reboot.
Which is it the one? Not the one with Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger.
No, didn't that come out in the 90s?
I think it did actually. Yeah.
Anyhow, so tell me which ones are the good ones to see in the series.
I think it's considered the first one is the best, the original, because that film is terrifying. Because the way it's shot, it's so low budgety, it almost looks like a documentary type of, like you're there.
Really?
You really get that feeling. It's very intense and visceral kind of a film, which I think this is the third time I've used that word. What's interesting, too, about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first one, is people think it's one of the goriest films ever made, and it's not. There's actually not a lot of blood in that film at all. It's almost all implied. But it is so...
Did they cut away right
it's
before the
such an
chainsaw hit?
unsettling film that you think it is that bad, and it's not. The third one with Dennis Hopper is got a nice campy quality to it that people like a lot. And then outside of that, that's pretty much all I got for you.
Really, that's it.
The rest of them are kind of really instantly forgettable and not really worth your time. So... that's it for the new releases. It's actually not that big a week. New to Blu-ray, though, for the first time, Criterion has 2 films being released. One is the original 310 to Yuma, not the Christian Bale, Russell Crowe film. Includes an all-new high-definition digital restoration. There you go. An alternate 5.1 sound surround track, which includes a DTS HD master audio. New interviews with the authors Elmore Leonard and then Glenn Ford's son and biographer also were interviewed for the film. Jubal, which I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but it's a Western starring Glenn Ford, Ernest Borgnine, and Rod Steiger. It's a loose adaptation of Othello, and that's got a whole new digital restoration as well. So if you're a fan of that film, you can check it out. A film written by the Coen brothers, Dave, which I don't think you know this. Directed by Sam Raimi, one of his first films after Evil Dead, if not his first film after Evil Dead. Crime Wave is being released by Shout Factory.
No.
I should say their horror line, Scream Factory. It's basically about a couple of guys who go on a crime spree.
Yeah.
And I've never seen the film. It's supposedly a B-movie classic and supposed to be an absolutely crazy movie.
I'm
It's a
definitely
Blu-ray,
gonna check it
DVD copy of it as well.
I absolutely am in love with the Coen Brothers.
This is,
once
I guess,
asked
one
you
of
a
their first
question,
things,
If
so.
you could have a movie written and directed by anybody about your life, who would it be? And my answer is either the Coen Brothers or no, I can't remember their name. The guy who did the Royal Tenenbaums.
Your
Wes
favorite
Anderson.
film.
Yeah. But
Fair
it'd be
enough.
one of those 2 guys.
Yeah.
Coen Brothers are. I mean, they make entertaining movies. Even their kind of duds are good.
Yeah, I think
Like
that's
even
fair.
Burn After Reading, I got enjoyment out of.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What about like Irreconcilable Differences?
I don't think I saw that.
That's the one with Catherine Zeta-Jones and George Clooney.
Yeah, I did get some enjoyment out of that.
Well, there
yeah.
you go. Well, see, you're a true fan then. I guess I can't really fault you.
No, you can't.
Though I tried desperately every week. And then what do I have left, Dave? I have... I want to get your opinion on this, because you know a little bit more about this stuff than I do. There's a bunch of re-releases on Blu-ray. We're already double-dipping on Blu-ray now.
Mm-hmm.
They're 4K transfers. So I guess they're going to go through and make them even more high-defy.
Uh-huh.
And here's the films that are getting their 4K releases. Ghostbusters.
Okay.
There's a lot of good stuff in here, then some stuff I can't understand. So Ghostbusters, Taxi Driver, Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire film.
Yeah.
The Amazing Spider-Man, the new one, the Mark Webb Garfield film. Angels and Demons, the sequel
Really?
to the Da Vinci Code.
Okay, that's weird.
Glory,
Ooh, that's a good one.
the 2012 version of Total Recall. Battle Los Angeles,
Oh, God.
Karate Kid, the 2010 version.
Ah, bummer.
And then the other guys. They're all getting all new 4K releases on Blu-ray.
So, and I do know a little bit about this.
Okay.
Okay, is that okay, so I haven't been following this closely. I just know a little bit about this. But 4K, you know, is a new display technology. It's going to be 4 times the resolution of a 1080p. Ultra HD is what they kind of branded at, or 1080p is what Ultra HD is branded as.
Right.
4K is going to be, 4 times the resolution. If you've ever seen one of these TVs, given the right content, it looks like you're looking through a window. It's that good. It just looks like it's as high a resolution as the eye can perceive. You know how Apple touts the Retina display.
Right.
Well, 4K, given the right circumstance, is exactly that. It's a Retina display for your television.
But would you lose the cinematic quality of the film at that point if it got that ultra realistic?
I mean,
And how much is one of
probably
those
depends
TVs
on your
cost?
perspective. The TVs are super expensive right now. Although I want to say it's one of the Korean manufacturers is releasing one this year for $1,500.
Really?
At a very good size. I think it's like 50 or 55 inches.
Now, do you need a certain player for these as well, or a
Okay,
regular
so
Blu-ray
that's the
player?
thing, right? Is these file sizes are enormous,
Mm-hmm.
like huge. Good luck. Like if you want to start streaming stuff in 4K, good luck. You're going to be downloading for a day.
Okay.
You know, they're that big. Blu-ray is not a big enough disc. The size of the disc is physically just... There's not enough information on that disc to really do 4K.
So how do they do it?
So what they're really doing with the Blu-ray 4K stuff is similar to what they did with DVD.
Dual
When they-
layer?
You remember the Superbit stuff and
Uh-huh.
that kind of stuff? They're going to pack as much information on these Blu-rays as they can, but it's not going to be true 4K. There is no consumer-level format that is 4K.
Interesting.
And there's not going to be until they figure that out. I mean, it's theoretically, they'll either have to release a new disc format,
Yep.
which will probably be the way they have to go, or the whole nation will have to get faster internet.
Or we can all get the Google one, the whatever what do they call it now? The Google Internet thing that they're launching.
Yeah, or Fios or whatever. We're gonna have to all get faster internet because it's so much information to display at one time on the screen to make it look good.
So you're saying really it's probably not logical to buy these then at this point?
I mean, if you have a 4K TV right now, or if you get one within the next year or two, this is probably your only choice.
Yeah.
But when real 4K hits, you're not going to ever watch these movies again. But right now, just like when you first got an HD TV,
Right.
and before Blu-ray hit, all you had was DVDs that were widescreen format, and they looked good.
Right.
Once Blu-ray hit, you never watched those
That's
DVDs
true.
again.
That's a fair point. So in your straight to DVD pick of the week, Dave, is called Stripped. 4 friends head to Vegas for a 25th birthday, and when I say 25th, I mean 21st.
25th?
Yes, birthday. That's going to be a horrible party.
Sounds like a porn movie.
They're in hopes of finding adventure, debauchery, and memories that will last them a lifetime. Cameron, the scandalous one of the group, decides to record the whole trip, determined to not forget the fiasco. A girlfriend of theirs begs for a ride, convincing them she will disappear as soon as they arrive. When they get to Vegas, the guys devise an amazing plan for the night, but things take a turn for the worst when they call strippers that have them travel to a remote location, which is your first mistake. Little do they know, the strippers work for an organ trafficker. The guys
Oh,
fight
no.
for their lives, but eventually get stripped.
Fisted. Oh.
No, stripped. But I can see where you'd go that way. So that's it. So that's why you should never, I guess, go to Vegas and go to some strippers on a very remote location. Always have them meet in a well-lit area. And if you're going to get an escort at your house, this is what my dad would
I
always
don't
tell
feel
me.
like your best bet is strippers in well-lit area.
Probably. That's a fair point.
You'd be ultimately
But you know what you're getting
disappointed
into.
here.
But you know what you're getting into ahead of time. And my dad always used to tell me, man, I miss my dad sometimes. But he always tell me, if you're going to get an escort, send her to the address next door so you can see.
You see her
and then you
before,
can
yeah.
say, oh, I'm sorry, it's over here.
Over here. It's
A
like
little-
girls you meet at work.
Yeah.
They're always hotter when you see them at the bar because they're not under like the fluorescent lighting and they're all made up, pretty.
So it's tips for life. So Dave, what's your streaming pick of the
All
week?
right, so I'm gonna do a little bit of shameless self-promotion here, but I do have a good tip at the end.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a YouTube page.
Yes, we does.
And it's technically streaming video. So here it comes.
Okay.
A little shameless self-promotion. If you go to youtube.com/user/the first run, you can see a lot of the stuff we've been doing for the last, 3 months. We have Chris's morning show, which I think is absolutely hilarious, and you got to check out. It's
You're
really
raw.
funny stuff. He's slacking off a little bit. He hasn't made an episode in a week or two.
I actually
but
have
the
a-
last one he did was the best one he did. So he needs to get back on that.
We'll have the Lords of Salem one actually will be up, and I'm hoping to have that up in a couple days.
Awesome.
Even though I
We
think it's
also
already out
have-
of the theater.
We also have the First Run show available on YouTube. So if it's more convenient for you to watch it on YouTube, there's no video yet. Hopefully we can get that solved in the next year or two. But it is available on YouTube. We're also going to be expanding with whatever else we can think of, and any input that you guys have, anything you'd like to see on that YouTube channel, we're really interested to find out about. So check out, again, it's youtube.com/user/thefirstrun. And I just put up a Roku unboxing. I'm going to do a Roku review. But before I do that, I wanted to talk to you a little bit, Chris. 'Cause
Yes.
you mentioned that you got a Roku 3 and
I did.
you're a little dissatisfied about it.
I am, because one of the reasons I got it was because of the HBO Go.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Comcast does not stream
Dickheads.
HBO Go through the Roku. And I don't quite understand why. I really don't.
Because they don't want you watching Comcast content, even though they don't own HBO. They don't want you
But that's
watching
what I
something that you
understand.
could be paying them $160 for.
But Comcast allows for streaming of their stuff on computers and such. So why is the Roku such a bad? Maybe they want to
scared.
cut from Roku for
They're
some reason.
Again, I don't know.
But I got to admit, it's cool being able to watch. So basically, what happened is
Do you have Hulu Plus on there?
I do.
And
What happened is
Netflix?
I've had an old tube TV in my bedroom since, good Lord, I don't know. What's hilarious what makes me laugh too is I bought this new. I think I only went with 32-inch television, which is fine for my bedroom.
Yeah.
And then I got the Roku 3. I got everything for $250. Orfully.
Wow.
Well, I had I'm lying. Well, I had a $100 gift certificate actually, so
Okay.
it would have been $350 for
Still,
everything.
that's great.
What kills me about it, though, is that I spent $400 for my first tube TV when I was like a teenager.
Yeah.
And just now that this TV is so much better, and I only paid roughly $225 for it.
I remember I bought a 30. It wasn't 36-inch. It was like the next. Oh no, it was 27-inch.
My old one was a 27-inch.
I spent like $750 on this. This thing was a Sony, and
Yeah.
it looked great for the day, man. But I used to like have people over, like, hey, come watch it on my TV, my 27-inch
Nice.
tube TV, and it was almost a flat screen. You know what I'm talking about? Oh,
I think one of the things that kills me too. One of the things I bought, one of the first things I bought when I had my first job, I was working at Pizza Hut, and I was like a junior or senior in high school, and I bought a CD recorder for like $450.
Yeah, those were expensive.
So I could make my own CDs.
Yeah.
That's how. I mean, just to think how far we've come in. Good Lord, actually, it's been 20 years.
When we go,
So,
to,
all right, never mind.
This is a related topic. When we're going to record the first run Friends, TFR Friends,
The
later
group session?
tonight.
Yeah.
And I got a really related topic. To
Excellent!
this.
I can't wait for that. And so, for my my setup on my Roku 3 right now is I have my Netflix, my Hulu Plus,
Yeah,
and I have
You
MLB.
Amazon Prime.
I don't. I haven't bought that
Okay.
yet, and I have MLB.TV on there. I haven't gone
Yeah.
with the Amazon Prime yet because I'm thinking at that point, if I'm going to get all that stuff, why not just have cable again? What's the point?
Okay, so Amazon Prime I have because I use Amazon so much.
I do too, but I don't
order off of Amazon probably 2 to 3 times a week.
Oh, I don't. I only offer Amazon once every month or two.
Yeah,
but
see,
also
I'm-
too, I don't
I'm
have
all
a
over
problem waiting a week. It doesn't bother me. I don't order anything
Well,
on
when
Amazon
you
that I
need
need
toilet
right
paper,
away.
Chris, you want it quick.
I like that you go through Amazon for your TP. Like you couldn't run down to Walmart and pay the same price. And
No, I
have
don't shop at
an
Walmart.
instant gratification of having that.
I don't shop at
Cottonelle.
Walmart.
Oh, now we're taking a stand. Oh,
That's
now
right.
we have morals.
I don't drink Coors, and I don't shop at Walmart.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So that's what's coming up on Blu-ray and DVD after a few
It's
brief
streaming.
tangents on May 14th, this upcoming Tuesday. We'll take another break, come back, and have a little more from Mike White. This is going to be violin strings, and then we're also going to get into our top 5 films coming up this summer that are not Superman, Man of Steel, or Star Trek II Winter Darkness.
Best of the rest.
And we'll tell you why when we get back.
Oh man. I don't think they understand. They ain't fucking with me. Mike Lord, swing a samurai sword, cut him up. Lucy Lou a dude through his jugular, shut him up. Send his wife over, pucker up, buttercup. Nuts hit a chin like the prime Tyson uppercut. Ain't no jumping in and out, this ain't double dutch. Get your team, bring them round, tell them huddle up. All this fresh air I keep sucking up. Coming for the throne, sucker, motherfucker, runner up. My crew winning, blue ribbon, gold medalist. East Coast representative, flow specialist. Rendering foes weaponless, it's effortless though. Trying to comprehend this rhetoric, your head'll explode. Bobby Fischer, y'all are playing checkers with flows. I'm pulling strings with these bitches, Geppettoing hoes. It's a mix of psychedelic, heavy metal and drone. Reptilian, venomous with phlegm in his throat. I'm just killing them, slaying them, splashing faces, spit spraying them. Put them in cases, displaying them. Smithsonian only is in his basement. Spectators amazed, just wondering where they face went. The sounds of these violin strings got me fantasizing about doing violent things. The sounds of these violin strings got me fantasizing about doing violent things. The way I write is leisure-like. I do this when I sleep at night. My chicken scratch shit on raps. It takes you like a week to write. You see it like I'm Jesus, Mike. Believe me when you see the light. The sickest part about this.
What are we gonna do, Stu?
We're gonna go to the police.
Oh, no, we're not. Did you hear that guy? He will kill Doug, period. Chow is a cancer. He has been a cancer since the first day we met him. So we're gonna hand him over to this guy, Marshall, and then it's done.
Hey, Phil.
He said, Alan, not now, but I need you, Stu. I can't do this alone.
Do what alone? We have no idea where he even is.
Phil.
What, Alan?
Well, I was just going to say I got this strange email the other day. I wasn't sure what it meant, but now I think it might be from Chow.
Fatty, it feels good to be out. I'm close by. Tell no one. I'll be in touch. Chow. This says Chow. How did you not know this was from Chow?
At the time, I thought it was Chow like goodbye. You know, like Ciao, Arrivederci, Sabaro, Papa John.
I'm writing him back.
Whoa, wait, just hold on.
I'm gonna tell him that you're happy he's out and that you'd love to see him.
Ooh, I would love to see him.
Do you even know what's going on?
Yes, I do. Phil's doing all the work, I'm his assistant, and you're standing there looking like an idiot.
Ciao, arrivederci, sbaro, Papa John. So that's Hangover 3.
I'm doing all the work, and you're standing there looking like an idiot.
I gotta say, this is our top 5 films of the big summer, but that's not Superman and Star Trek, because I think either of those just would have been, I think, our default 1 and 2s. I don't know if Superman actually for you so much, Dave.
No, I'm not really looking forward to that movie.
But it basically would have been Star Trek 2, and then Superman Man of Steel 1. So I thought, well, where's the fun in that? So we yanked those 2 out, and you just heard a clip from The Hangover 3, which means, of course, for me, it's not on my top 5, because we always feature a film there that's actually not going to be in our list. So, Dave, I think
on your list.
Not on my list. That's a fair point. So, I guess it's whose turn is it to go first this week? I think
I'll go first.
All right. So, what do you got? What's your number 5 most anticipated film of this summer that's not Superman or Star Trek?
I got nothing. I was reaching at straws for number 5. Yeah, I had a solid top 4, but my 5th pick, I was reaching. I was really, really reaching.
Wow.
So the 2 movies I kind of wanted to put in here were...
That is insane to me. I don't understand how you could even... I had like 12 films.
Really? Mm-hmm. Not me. Okay, so the 2 movies I decided, well, either one of these movies might be okay, and those were Monsters University and Despicable Me 2. Despicable Me I thought was fairly entertaining.
Yeah.
Monsters University is a Pixar movie, which means it'll probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's a sequel to Monsters, Inc.,
Yep.
which I really liked when it came out. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go with Monsters University.
Right. And that's coming out on June 21st.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah, okay.
That's quite all right. I got your back. Yeah, Monsters, Inc. is in my honorable mentions. It didn't make my top 5. My number 5 is the latest from is it Neil Blomkvist? I think I massacred that. It's Elysium. It's his. He's a director.
This is my number 4.
He did District 9, which is a fantastic little sci-fi film. If you had a chance to see it, you should definitely check it out. It was on. I think it still is on Netflix. It's in viewing right now, but it's definitely worth checking out if you haven't. And it's Matt Damon and Jodie Foster. And basically, Dave, back me up on this. Basically, there's 2 different levels that people live on.
Yeah, space or Earth.
And I guess all the poor people live on Earth.
Yeah.
And Matt Damon there's something up with him. I'm not quite sure what it is. I'm glad that I don't know that much about this movie because I don't want to. But he has to basically break into the space part to get some help for him or a family member, whatever the case may be.
He's got some kind of cybernetic exoskeleton.
And it's Neil Blomkamp, not Neil Blomkvist. I was channeling Girl with the Dragon Tattoo there for some reason. But that's my number 5. That's actually
my number 4.
All right, well, that's coming out on August 9th. So if that's your number 4, then I guess I go to my number 4, which is This Is the End.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am cautiously, as I usually say, I'm cautiously pessimistic, but I'm cautiously optimistic about this film. Now, let's back that up. Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg wrote and directed this film. They've done some great movies, Superbad, but then also too, I'm nervous that this isn't going to work. That it's all high concept and it's not going to be that funny. But you have Franco, Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, Jay Baruchel, Danny McBride, Craig Robinson, Michael Cera, basically all playing themselves as they struggle to survive the end of the world, what looks like an alien invasion.
Yeah.
The trailers are both hilarious that I've seen. I've seen 2 of them. They're both hilarious.
And they both show different clips, which
yes.
is good.
So I'm really looking forward to This Is the End. I hope it's going to be as funny as I think it is.
It does look funny.
And that's coming out on June 12th. So what about you? What's your...
My number 3 is Pacific Rim.
Mine as well. Look at us.
The only reason that it's not higher is just because I haven't seen anything about it.
Okay.
You know, I'm hoping that the hype machine is going to start building for this movie, but I'm a little scared that it's getting put on the back burner, like it's not going to be good.
Like the studio knows it's not going to be good, even so they're not going to spend a ton of money to advertise it because they've already spent a ton of money to make
something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming out on July 12th.
But this is help me out here.
So it's Guillermo del Toro. Who we're both huge fans of.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar, aliens invade Earth from underground for some reason, which I'm sure they'll explain.
And Earth has giant robots.
So the only way we can fight them exactly is with these gigantic robots. And
it's supposed to be like a nod to like those Japanese giant monster flicks.
That's exactly kind of what it looks like.
Not Benicio. Yeah. Whatever his name is.
Ooh, Guillermo del Toro?
Guillermo del Toro.
I know, Dave, they're all the same. I'm sure they know each other.
Oh, that's messed up.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Pacific Rim as well.
I want to be looking forward to it. It would have been higher on my list, but it's not like the high concept of Pan's Labyrinth.
Right. Well,
which is my high watermark for him.
And if I remember, too, if we did our most anticipated films of the year, this actually didn't make my top 5 because of that.
Yeah.
But still, I think I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it's going to be a nice big action spectacle. So, I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. But I'm still looking for it. It's Guillermo, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so that was my number 3 and your number 3. So I'll move on to my number 2.
All right, what's that?
And I know you're worried about this movie, but I'm really looking forward to it because the trailers have me excited for it, and that's World War Z with Brad Pitt. I'm looking forward to this movie.
Yeah.
It looks good. I haven't read the books. I don't know what the fiction is, but the trailer for this movie looks good to me. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's coming out on June 21st. I have some issues with it. It's already gone through 2 directors. It's had a dozen writers. It's madly over budget.
Yeah.
Mark Forster directed it. He came. I don't know if actually did they have 2 directors or just him. But the last big action film Mark Forster did, and this is not going to make you feel good, is Quantum of Solace. A man who doesn't really, I think, know how to handle that kind of stuff.
Wait a minute. The problem with Quantum of Solace was not the action, though.
Well, the action
it was
scene,
the fact that there was no script.
It was very violent. Yeah, all right, that's fair. But the way he shot action, I remember reading this as in an interview. I was like, he wanted to shoot action movies in a way they'd never been shot before, and he did. Like, if you think about it, in the beginning when the car careens off the cliff, the kind of weird kind of angle that the camera took as the car kind of careened out of camera view, I don't know.
I thought the action movies or action scenes.
The action scenes were good, but overall the film was kind of dull.
But that was because of the script, not because of the.
That's
director,
fair.
As far as I'm concerned,
I'm hoping that's and that's the story, and I'm hoping that that's true, and we're gonna find out when World War Z. Here's the problem: the problem with Quantum of Solace is that it was dull because the script wasn't good. The reason why is because the writer's strike had just ended,
right?
And they were filming it as they were writing it.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with World War Z, supposedly is the script. Is that it's been a bunch of rewrites and it's horribly over budget.
So what we're gonna get is visually something cool,
but we'll see what
with
happens.
Nothing behind it.
Yeah, so it didn't.
Still, I'm looking forward to it.
It's an honorable mention for me.
Okay.
For me, my number 2 then is The World's End. It's the reunion.
I didn't know this movie.
It's a reunion of Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg, and Nick Frost, who did Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz.
I had no idea this was coming out.
Yes, it is, and it's let's see.
So let's just earn my number 5 spot.
Well, good. Well, I'm gonna be able to lock that in for you. So I guess I don't really know much about this film at all, so here's the write-up of it. In The World's End, 20 years after attempting an epic pub crawl, 5 childhood friends reunite with one of them becomes hell-bent on trying the drinking marathon again. They're convinced to stage an encore by Gary King, played by Simon Pegg, a 40-year-old man trapped at the cigarette end of his teens. I don't know what that means. What's the cigarette end of it? Oh, because it's burning out, maybe?
Oh, okay.
It's end of... I don't know. He drags his reluctant... Maybe it's an English thing. He drags his reluctant pals to their hometown and once again attempts to reach the fabled pub, The World's End. As they attempt to reconcile the past and present, they realize the real struggle is for their future, not just theirs, but humankind's. Reaching the World's End is the least of their worries. But the fact that it's got Edgar Wright, directed by Edgar Wright, who did those films. Also, I forgot... Simon Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim, I should say. Scott Pilgrim as well. So it's written by Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright. It stars Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Martin Freeman is in it as well. Patty Considine, who's a fantastic actor. I really cannot wait to see this film. And that's why it's my number 2.
I agree. I would have, if I knew about this movie, I would have nailed it.
So what's your 1 then?
My number 1.
I'm sorry, before 2. And I didn't say World's End comes out on August 23rd.
Okay. My number 1, I think, was your number 4.
Okay.
This is the end.
That's your number 1,
yeah,
huh?
It's absolutely the most exciting movie of the summer for me. And that includes the movies, or one of the movies that we included. We excluded from the list.
Fair enough.
I mean, this movie looks funny, and both trailers showing different scenes, which is encouraging. Because the problem you get with comedies is that sometimes you see the same stuff over and over again in the trailers, and you're like, okay, are they just showing only the funny parts in the trailer?
Right.
This movie looks like it has potential to be really funny.
Dave, I hope you're right. I really do. So then my number 1 is a film probably you don't even know exists. That's how much of a snob I am.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, I'm going to tell you the title, and you tell me what you know about
honestly, you're going to be your number 1 most anticipated movie of the summer.
That's not Superman or Star Trek.
Uh-huh.
Yes. It's called Only God Forgives. Comes out July 19th.
Uh-huh.
What's it
so
about,
a religious
Dave?
movie. That's new for you.
What do you think it's about?
God forgiving people?
It's the latest film from a certain director I fell in love with, Nicholas Winding Refn, who directed Drive.
Oh, okay.
And reunites him with Ryan Gosling.
Oh, okay.
And it's a story about a Bangkok police lieutenant and a gangster that settle their differences in a Thai boxing match.
Ooh.
Now, when I first read that description, I'm like, okay. And then I saw the trailer for it, and I'm like, okay. It looked kind of interesting. And the fact that I loved Drive so much, and I'm a big fan of Nicholas Winding Refn's work. He did Bronson. He did Valhalla Rising.
See, I didn't like Valhalla Rising.
And then,
I
of
didn't
course,
like Bronson.
My favorite film of 2011, Drive. So with all that kind of put together, I'm really hoping that Only God Forgives, because it's unlike the rest of those films, which are like summer blockbustery type films.
Yeah,
I think this film could have more to it. Could be a potential top 5 of the year for me.
Okay,
I'm hoping. Not that I tend to be hyperbolic and build things up.
Yeah, not at all.
But I'm really excited to see Only God Forgives. So you clearly didn't have any honorable mentions.
I did. I had Wolverine, I guess, an honorable mention.
July 26th.
Some of the X-Men movies were really good. Some of them were really bad, including the first Wolverine movie. So
that first Wolverine film all copies should be destroyed.
It's a bucket of crap.
It is really bad. But I like too that they're going.
The trailer for The Conjuring looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, I wanted to say too, the Wolverine. What's interesting is that they're actually using the Frank Miller limited series as the background for the film, where he goes to Japan and basically fights a bunch of ninjas.
Fascinating. I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right, there. So you're not the biggest as big as me. I would agree that the film about the Warrens, The Conjuring, looks really good. From what I understand too, they've had some early showings. That people are terrified, and it got a rating. This too is what makes me excited about this movie. The MPAA gave this a rated R for scary moments.
Really?
Not for gore, not for nudity, not for language, but it's supposed to be so terrifying. The MPAA gave it an R.
The Conjuring.
Yes.
Really?
Which they never. I mean, you look at some of the scarier movies of the last 10, 15 years, like The Ring, or whatever the case may be, they're always PG-13. The first Paranormal Activity film, which I think is scary, they're always PG-13. But this one they gave an R just because how scary it's supposedly going to be. And that's coming out on July 19th.
That's intriguing.
Anything else, Dave?
No, that's it.
I got a couple more. On June 7th, Joss Whedon's adaptation of Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing is being released.
I'm in for that.
A film, a remake of the cult classic Maniac, starring What's his name? Who's the guy who was Bilbo? I mean, The Hobbit.
Frodo.
Who's Frodo?
I don't know.
All right. Well, he stars in this remake. You're killing me. I can't believe you can't pull that out for me. You're such a big fan of the series.
Yeah, usually I'm so good with names.
He's also in the show with the talking dog. You're killing me here. I'm going to have to look it up now. We're all going to wait while I look it up. Elijah Wood stars in the remake of Maniac, which you haven't seen the original film. It's very kind of disturbing. In this film, I've seen trailers for
You want
like
to
2
see a
years
good
now.
movie, check out Maniac Cop.
That's yes.
Or Maniac Cop 2.
Another one, too, I'm surprised. 'Cause I think you saw the trailer for this. R.I.P.D. Coming out July 19th.
Not ringing any
Ryan
bells.
Reynolds.
Oh, yeah. This
And-
movie looks like trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trailer looks bad. If you can't hook me with a trailer, forget it.
And the dude is in it, though it's not quite the dude.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm hoping it might be kind of interesting and fun. And then finally, I swear to God, this one
I'm
must...
not the Ryan Reynolds fan you are. So.
That's true. I think this film must be a Sci-Fi Channel original. It's called Frankenstein's Army. Comes out July 26th, right after my birthday. Limited toward the end of World War II, Russian soldiers pushing into eastern Germany stumble across a secret Nazi lab, Dave. One that has unearthed and begun experimenting with a journal of one Dr. Victor Frankenstein.
Awesome.
The scientists have used the legendary Frankenstein's work to
It
assemble...
sounds like when you're directed to DVDs.
It is. They use his work to assemble an army of super soldiers stitched together from the body parts of their fallen comrades. A desperate Hitler's last ghastly ploy to escape defeat.
Awesome.
It sounds like something I want to watch.
It does. It does.
So that's it. Those are our top
It's
five.
not Iron Sky, but...
No, well, what really is. And those are our top five summer films that we're looking forward to that are not Superman, Man of Steel, or Star Trek Into Darkness. What are yours? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. We're going to take another break and come back and wrap up the show. But first, here's a little bit of more Mike White, which is Starshine, which also features Jamal Malachi Ford Bay, the writer of our theme song.
Yeah.
So enjoy.
Con ojos de luna que ve volar un pájaro azul como la luz que mece su cuna, mallas de ser de lindo tul.
With my eyes on the prize, I can never lose sight. Even when I'm sidetracked by the red and blue lights. Getting reckless, unregrettable nights and your exes. Hate the credible type, so I'm chasing the most. Stay away from the post, same old, same shit, different day, I suppose. Can't keep me in the cage anymore. Not a thief, but they say I got away with the flow. Like I stole it, then I threw up on the track. Believe me, if I took it, you don't want it back. You don't wanna hit the stage when I'm blowing up a set. Last thing you wanna hear is you going up next and you kill it. Step aside and listen, and I'm thinking, who am I to decline your vision? Decided it's a sacrifice worth giving when I'm trying to live a life worth living. Let your stars shine, brighten up the darkest night. It could just be you and I. Where would we go? Gotta let your stars shine, brighten up the darkest night. It could just be you and I. Where would we go? Where would we go? Where would we go?
Un pájaro azul
Where would we go?
como la luz que mece su cuna.
Where would we go?
I want to ask Mr. Gatsby one more question.
Oh, please, go on, Mr. Buchanan, go on.
What kind of a row are you trying to cause in my house, anyhow?
He isn't causing a row. You're causing a row. Please have a little self-control.
Self-control? Oh, I suppose the latest thing is to sit back and let Mr. Nobody from nowhere make love to your wife. Well, if that's the idea, you can count me out. See, nowadays, people begin by sneering at family life and family institutions.
Your wife doesn't love you. She never loved you. You see, she loves me.
You must be crazy.
No, old sport. No, you see, she never loved you.
Dave, I'm torn. I don't know what to do. I'm not a big Baz Luhrmann fan. I know you're definitely not. The Great Gatsby is my favorite book.
Yeah.
I love the style of this film. Aesthetically, it looks fantastic.
Baz Luhrmann's going to mess it up.
But the early reviews of this film have not been charitable. And I'm being charitable. It does not look good. But what are you going to do? It's based on my favorite book. It's got Carey Mulligan, Joel Edgerton, you got Leo. We're going to give it a spin. We're going to see how it turns out. And,
how long is this movie?
I think it's like 3.5 hours. Yeah, I have no idea actually. I couldn't begin to tell you. But so next week we are doing The Great Gatsby. Are you going to go see it in 3D? Of course. What am I even asking you that for? No, you're not. I'm on the fence yet if I'm going to see it in 3D. I'll have to see if I'll read some reviews to see if the 3D is worth it. In the meantime, shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. We'd love to hear from you. Look us up on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Vine. Is that everything? And just do a search for The First Run and we'll come right up.
Yeah.
And that's
it. Interestingly, okay, so
go ahead. What?
I posted a episode of The First Run on my YouTube page, the Briar Rabbit channel page. And if you do a search for The First Run, that's the first entry.
I get it.
Isn't that regardless? It's retarded though. I mean, why would it choose that as opposed to the first run?
Because I'm sure it goes to the channel that probably gets the most listens, which would be or views, which is your channel. You have a lot more views than we do.
Okay,
so I bet you said that on purpose to make me feel bad because your side project.
I don't have to say anything
is now
to make you
bigger.
Feel bad. You just feel bad as it
your
is.
side project is bigger than the show that launched you, and I think that's whatever. I don't know why you think you're getting all Steve Perry Journey on me here, but it's, you're getting all Michael Jackson 5e. But that's fine, whatever. So anyway, as I said, shoot us an email, follow, talk to me. I'd love to hear from you. That's the big show this week. We're going to take an extended break, and we will see you all in a week.
See you next week.